A day of defiance in Hong Kong as thousands surrounded the city's legislature. Lawmakers were scheduled to continue debate on the government's proposed extradition bill that could open the door for fugitives to be transferred to mainland China. But these protesters were determined to stop it. By 9:30 a.m., some had started breaking down metal barricades around the government complex. Others plucked bricks off the pavement. Police appealed for the protesters to leave and said they would use appropriate force if necessary. But the crowd only grew. The government issued a notice telling some employees not to come to work, and soon after 11 a.m., the Legislative Council announced it would delay the planned second reading of the extradition bill. But that wasn't enough to placate the crowd. By midday, a tense standoff ensued between the protesters and police. Even amid rain showers, the demonstrators showed no signs of backing down. Volunteers began distributing food and water. Protesters began calling for donations of helmets, cling film, long umbrellas, and masks. Banners flung over an overpass called for Hong Kong Chief Executive Carrie Lam to step down and for the government to withdraw the extradition bill. As lunch hour came to an end, the roads were still flooded with demonstrators. Opposition leaders began speaking out against the bill from a stage set up nearby. Then, at 3:30 p.m., tensions came to a head. Police first used pepper spray to try to disperse the protesters. When that didn't work, they launched tear gas canisters. Hong Kong's police chief called the protest a riot, a declaration not even made during the Occupy Central demonstrations in 2014. The term carries severe consequences for anyone arrested, because a conviction for rioting could mean spending up to 10 years in prison. As the sun began to set, the crowd thinned, and the Legislative Council officially announced that debate on the extradition bill would not be held on this day.
You are hurting our children! You're hurting everybody here!
But in a pre-recorded interview, aired in prime time on local television, Carrie Lam emotionally said she did not sell out her fellow Hong Kongers. Nevertheless, she insisted she will not withdraw the bill. No legislative matter has faced as much opposition in Hong Kong since the government's proposal to bring in anti-sedition laws in 2003. Back then, 500,000 protesters took to the streets and managed to get the government to shelve its plans. But this time, despite a march that organizers said brought more than 1 million people onto the street on June 9th, and the chaos that unfolded only 3 days later, the government is still unwilling to bend.